Welcome to Groverload. I was reached out by a company to take a look at something, and that's what I'm going to do here today. They said review it. I'm going to give you my thoughts as I walk through it. But this is by Launch. It's a Creator Elite T, and so let's see. Here's the back. Um, you can see there. It's going to focus, right? It's going to do what I want it to do. Maybe. There, that's the back of it. It's a little car reader. There's the front. Looks like a little Android tablet, ODB. So this is a um, car OBD2 diagnostics. And on the bottom here, so it's just a orange around the sides, but on the bottom there's a little thing there. You got a USB-C, and it does come with a USB-C cable, Type A on one side, USB-C on the other. So you can power it on, and while it's not in the car, if you want, that does work. I'll give you a little bit of update on there. Then it also has a micro SD card, which according to the user manual, which I did go through quickly, but I did go through it, that is there for future use. Now, make note, they did not have this in the manual, but that little hole right there is a reset button. And now if you press and hold it for 30 seconds, it will reset the device. And I found this out by, well, just guessing. But what happened is that there was a slight issue. I was messing around with this before I plugged into the car. And I don't think people run into this, but if they do, at least it's here. And what I did was I plugged USB-C in when I first got the device. It powered on, and the screen was going on and off. So what I did was I pushed the little reset in and let it go, and the screen flashed on and off because the screen was off at this point. So it was just push it in, on, off, right? Which got me through a few steps of setup, but not fully. What I did was as I pressed and held for 30 seconds, it reset the device. Device worked fine, and it has been working fine ever since. I've tested this out a few times on the vehicle and a few times on USB-C. In fact, let's see if I can do it here. Nothing's better than doing something live when you haven't rehearsed it, right? So it is booting up, as you can see here. You can kind of, there it is. It's still booting up. Launch, and come on. It takes a while. It's not the fastest in the world. According to this, it is, here's the box. It just comes in a basic box. This is a 4-inch 480 by 800p device or screen. Make sure you store it in negative 20 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. I just store it inside for the most part. Well, I can handle pretty much anything. Operating temperature is 0 to 50 C. They say about 500 grams. I think on Amazon. They sent me an Amazon link with it. It was about 170 bucks the last time I checked, which isn't bad for just a ODB2 scanner. A little bit, I would say, on the high side, depending upon what you wanted to do. If you just wanted to read a code, this is not the device for you, right? But if you want, like this Creator Elite T is for Toyota, and that's why they sent it to me, because I get to use it on one of my Toyotas. Actually, I only have one Toyota. I sold the other one. But it is ODB2, and we'll get into it in a second here. Well, I guess I got it plugged in right now. But I'm looking through here. I thought that they had specs of this thing someplace. Maybe it was on the Amazon link page, and well, I don't have that up right now. But the manual is pretty thorough overall. It goes through certain stuff you can do, gets the codes, all that other stuff, and oh, see, and here's what it does. See, and now it's blank. You can see my lights. It's reflecting lights because it doesn't have any aptitude to do anything else. Well, let's see. This is live. They're gonna have this video now. So I reset it. Hold it in for. So what happens is you go like this, and this is something that probably can be fixed in firmware. See, on off. It happened again. On off. and I press it on off. Okay, so let's hold it in for 30 seconds. 1, 2. It'll go through and start restarting the screen. And this is the one problem. Like, it's 170 bucks, and for what it should be, it's rebooting. It should just work for people, right? People should not have to, because if this happens to somebody and it wasn't me and I wasn't, you know, tech savvy, I love working on computers, trying to figure out why something doesn't work, and here we are, it's doing this, and it's just like this should not be happening on the launch of the device. But I did go in, and if you're curious, it's already connected to Wi-Fi. I did that already, and everything is already updated. If you can see that, there, I'm trying not to get my lights back, but there, everything is updated. So you can select all, you can update. I've updated everything. So they have not identified this as a problem on their end, but you have here's the items you do have here. Maybe I'll try to record the screen on this as well. Inside settings, they have, it's not the fastest in the world, so this could be very interesting. Let's go screen capture. Oh, screen capture is just capturing the screen. It looks like I'll be recording this from a camera here, and maybe I'm going to set this down, and you don't need to see my face. Let me do that. Let me get the camera around here, and I'll be right back. So we're back here, and we can go into settings, and hopefully make sure that this focuses. But you have units of measurement. You can see I switched to American. Uh, Here you have also have brightness. You have sound. I turned that off. You have your network. You have your time zone. The language. You can select work, information, recovery. Which what does recovery do? There you go. Factory. I don't want to do that. You can go clean up here, and the cache has been cleaned. Whoops, I don't know if I want to do that either. Screen capture, which is just, from what I've tried, it's just like taking a screenshot. It is not, you know, live video capture of it, which, with how fast and how fast this thing is, I'm being generous, is something that's there. Here, that's it's not going to be capable of. Let's put it that way. Here's the device information. You can see this is the Cree Reader. I don't know how they pronounce it. I said Creator earlier. Cree Reader Elite Toyota. There's a serial number, MAC address, variable storage here. You get the version, and if you go into version, you can see. Oh, come on! It's focusing on what it should be. There you go. There's all the versions if you want to see if your system is either up to date or beyond that. So you can hit detect system updates. It detects them and goes from there. Then you can go to their disclaimer, private policy, and the service agreement. So that's all your settings. And then data. You know, data has your diagnostic registers, your DCT library, your reports, and feedback, firmware fixes, user manual, all that stuff in there. Upgrade has all this information. So this is where I first was to go to update everything. I went to upgrade, got all the updated software that was there. Took a little while. Again, it's not the fastest device in the world, but for 170 bucks, $169 here in the United States on Amazon, it does it, it's not going to be the fastest device out there. Then you have the mall, where here you can go in and, oh, it's loading. I told you she takes a little bit of time. And there's Aston Martin, Audi, and you can scroll through. These are all the passenger vehicles. So it looks like you can download and add different vehicles. China, Asian. Here it has Honda. It has Hyundai's, Hyundai Genesis, Kia's, Mahindra, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, you know, Subaru. So it has a lot of different ones in there. It doesn't look like it is stopping based upon where they're located. And there's a lot. I haven't spent any money on this. You got more here, and then American. And here's where it gets kind of interesting: Ford, Lincoln, Ford, Europe. So I hope that this is also for U.S. So I want to try that. I do have a Ford here that I can try. So we'll see when I get to try that. And GM and Buick there. And you have Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, Fiat as well in Brazil. So that's those little things. And now let's jump into the car and um, take a look at the diagnostics. So we're in the car now, and I got it plugged in. You can see the car's off, or I hopefully see, you can hear the car's off. We'll see if this all works how the light is once it's on, but it does pull up the battery voltage in here, and you get some stuff. The diagnostic won't open up and read the VIN until the car is on. So let's start the car. And so there we are. You can hear it, the car beeping at me. But you can go into diagnostics here. All of these we've already gone through, these 4, so they're already kind of set there. But if we hit diagnostics, you can see this is the Toyota one, right? And so this is what you're going to get. I mean, you can see we're at 14.6 volts. It's got to charge up right on startup. And this is the Toyota one, so it's got lifetime updates for that, which if you're not paying for updates for 170 bucks, it seems to be a good deal overall for that. I wanted to point that out, right? Because the updates with this, if you have your car, in this case a Toyota, I believe that they make other ones too, and this one has you can buy add-ons. I don't know if they're fully up, forever, but that's a good question that I'd like them to answer as well. And if you go through, let's hit auto detect while this is going. But this is going there. Let's see, what does it got? Do I want you to see my VIN? You'll trust me that I got the VIN number. So, but the VIN's going here. It's got my model, so right here, it'll go through. You can select. I got a Toyota. You're just seeing my temperature here. Let's see. Yeah, so now it says now start the vehicle detection. You'll have to trust me because my VIN's on here. But it's a 2016 Toyota Highlander. So now we're loading, and let's see. It says loading with an end session. And here we go. So this is, let's see. This is the menu that it will pop up here, and it's focusing. So then you go through and you get to select which one it is. They could make this a little bit better. They kind of know it. I'm covering up the bottom because that's where my VIN is. Of course, I'm touching it, so you do that. Now it's searching, so it searches. Takes a little bit of time here. It's not the fastest tool in the world, but if you have one vehicle, it's probably worth it. So let's make sure smart key, and you just go through other. I don't have radar cruise. I have tire pressure monitoring, and that is, got my finger over at least there. It comes up, here we go. I had 76,000 miles on it, so it does have that right. And it's got all the information there. You press OK, and then it gives you this notice. There's a lot of notices and a lot of waiting. Remember, especially with a lot of these vehicles, there's a lot of vehicle data. This device is not like a huge, professional tool that has, a beefier processor, but it is a tool in a price range that makes a lot of sense. So you can see here it's scanning everything. You can pause it at the bottom if you can kind of see that. I'm trying to cover up my VIN. We'll see how well I did. We'll see. It's just scanning, so it takes a little bit of time here. I do expect some codes because I've already ran it here a few times to make sure that this is all working. I haven't had any issues running it. The only issue you saw was from before with the device with USB-C. There is, according to them and what I've been able to see, there's bidirectional testing on this device, which for every $170 makes it a very attractive price. You can see there's smart codes. I don't know exactly. I haven't looked into those. We'll still erase them. I haven't looked into the codes exactly, but I know I was having troubles with a smart key. So what I did was I had to replace the battery. That was that was what the car was warning me at. But here we go, and as we're going through this, we got another full code on power source control. It's scanning all the computers in the system, so it just doesn't check the ECU with the check engine light codes. This goes through everything and kind of scans it, because I don't have a check engine light on, and nor should this kind of go there. Whoops, well, I'll have to blur that out. But you get a diagnostic report here, and you can share it as well. So you can share at the bottom, and we get through. You can see kind of, oh, there's abnormal stuff. You can see this on the report, and then they have the disclaimer there. So that's kind of nice. They have a history there. So really nice kind of layout here if that's something you're looking for. Let's see, there we're back here, and then you can go in and you can go clear codes or report right at the bottom there, or you can actually go in, and it goes into ECU here. You can read the fault codes, you can clear the fault codes, you can read the freeze frame data, you can read the data stream, you can do the actuation test, right? That's your bidirectional testing, and then there's special functions here. So let's go into special functions. You can auto power off, cancel, customize settings. This vehicle doesn't have on off. You can read the data stream, and you can select everything you want to see. So you can see, okay, I want to select it all, and then click OK. Now, each computer has a data stream, and you can see you can even graph it over time. But as soon as you scroll down, it can only have so much, right? This isn't a huge device. It's got only like a couple gigs of RAM, a little processor, and then a total of like 16 gigs of storage. So there's a very limited amount here. But let's go through, and when we go back here, let's read the full code. And as you can see, lost communication with body control module. Now, this could be anything here. I'm not too worried about it. This is my vehicle. I don't drive that much. I work from home. So I'm just going to clear this. And what we'll do is see if it can actually clear. So this is what I want to do with everyone here on the video. That's why I didn't do it. Now, from here, remember there's a smart key here. Instead of going into there, let's just click clear codes here, and let's see what happens. And that is going through each one and clearing all the codes. So now it is a clean report. So that's pretty cool. Overall, worked really well and pretty impressive. Now, let's go into AC. Let's do this. You can see all here. There's actuation test. You can see that there's a blower motor. There's air mixers, all that stuff where you can go test. So let's see here. Monitoring the data. right? Let's select all. Let's click OK. And I was in the motor at some point, or in the, well, the engine, watching it, so you can see if you're, long-term field trim, short-term field trim. It has all that. You can kind of see the room sensors, the ambient temperature. Uh, yes, it's hot in my garage. It's hot outside here right now for where I'm at. I know you guys are like, well, I'm in the garage, so it's a little bit cooler right now than what it is outside, but uh, we're supposed to be up in the 90s here again today with high humidity, so it's one of those things where it's not bad for most areas in the world. We're just, spoiled here in Wisconsin when it's only been like 70s for most of the time, and now we're all of a sudden up in the 90s, and now we're all complaining here. That's how it goes. But you can kind of see it has all these items on it. You can, let's see if I can, you can change this input, I thought, to, so we increased it, and it is changing in the car because of the bidirectional testing. And can you hear that? I'm hoping you can hear it. Yep. So you can end it there, and now it's back to what it was. So that's kind of cool. You got the actuation test, you got the special functions here, and remember, each computer is going to kind of have this there as well. And so that's what I didn't know. You could check the volume of the refrigerant. We'll see. Oh, well, I don't want to go through all that right now. The video is going to get real long. So you can kind of see it's got a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm pretty impressed with this overall, right? You've had the downsides of what I think it is. You can see it's got the date, time, all this other, you got the trouble codes, it's the diagnostics. You can go into all these. Now, the ODB2, we went into the diagnostics with the VIN, right? I think that that's the way most people are going to use this if they're going to buy it. Otherwise, you go to Home, and you go to ODB2, and exit in the current changes, and look where you're at. You're right back where you were, right? So, the click on there is not the full thing. It's kind of interesting that way, but you got a whole bunch of stuff that you can select and do. And right, this is the ECU, so you got the throttle, everything on it. You can select 285 items. You do that. By the way, this thing is not the fastest in the world. I know I've said that already, but for what you get for 170 bucks, unlimited updates and everything else, that's a pretty good deal. The only thing I want fixed is where you plug in the USB-C the first time and all of a sudden, look at it. It doesn't do a great job at staying on, and you have to press that little reset. And they didn't document the reset. A lot of other stuff on here is documented and not. This is supposed to be graphing. I don't know why it's not showing up. Well, I guess if I hit it, it's not going to do anything. That should be a straight line. So there are bugs. At least I think they're bugs. And this whole thing, when you scroll, and then just be careful you don't hit end session. I've done that a couple times here, or not in the video, but you can see, and all of a sudden you get to the bottom, you scroll again, it goes and processes the data. It can only have so much. Makes sense, but at least you can go through and kind of get to the data you want, have it on page, or only select the data that you need at the time and have that on one little scroll rather than having to do this to just scroll to your data. So for a little tool like this, and 170 bucks or whatever it is, I know that they've had some sales on it. I think that right now there might be a sale on it. I think this is something that if you have a device that this supports, So this is the Toyota one, but I know that they make some other ones. This with lifetime updates, that's a pretty good deal, right? A professional tool, let's say you get a good professional tool, pretty basic one is going to be 1,000 on up. So you can, even though it's a little bit slower, you go from there. A full-on professional tool, right? You're paying at least 5 grand someplace in there, and I don't know if it's going to be worth trying to spend 5 grand to do this. Now you can also go through, and when you have the report here, let's see, it's going to have my information, but you can click share and it will send, let's see, I might have to cover something up here. I can't remember what it did, but you can send this to somebody. So you can put the receiver in of the email address, diagnostic report of the Toyota, message, and their nickname, and you send it off. I think that's pretty cool. And these reports will be saved. Let's see, is there an easy way, diagnostic record? Let's see. Yeah, so you can see I've connected it. I've deleted some, but you can see that there's 3 times. The cloud report, I have not got into that. I don't have it connected to the cloud, nor why is there one in the cloud. Doesn't make any sense, but I will have to delete that out because I don't want it in the cloud. Well, there's something I got to figure out now. But you can go through and you can delete these if you want. This was the other two, so delete. So you can delete them here. I have to see now. Well, there's gonna be a lot of me going through this video trying to blur out the VIN. This is with everything normal. What did we do? Oh, we clicked share. How else did I send this? You know, most of this is just me. So I clicked share here. I sent myself a report. I thought a different way. Well, where is it? I think you guys are going to be like, you're kind of, you don't know what you're doing. Exactly. Because I thought I knew what I was doing, but now I don't know what I'm doing. So, oh, I still had the share open there. Oh well. But you have the diagnostic trouble codes here. Oh, see, and you hit the back, then it does that. It has to rescan the vehicle. By just hitting back. Kind of annoying here, but um, overall little device. You got if this is something you're looking for, this is going to have to be kind of your choice on if you want to spend this money, if you think that this is going to be a good tool for you. You kind of can see that, you know, we adjusted, we were able to do the bi-directional testing, which I think is pretty incredible. You know, just a couple years ago, that was what, $1,000 device, $800 device, someplace in there, to be able to grab a device and do bi-directional testing for the most part. But now you're starting to see that more and more come down to these cheaper tools, which I think more accessibility for repair is always a huge benefit, and I think that that's a good thing for everybody, is to be able to diagnose and know what's going on with your car, and having a little bit of, you know, insight, being able to scan all these computers. So I really hope that if you do pick this up, leave a comment below of what you think of the tool. Can't really be comparing it to like some of these other tools that are more powerful, because it's not fair to it. But for a standalone device with a cable, plugs in, you can't go too far. Like if you're in the passenger seat, you're not going to be able to do it. I'm sitting right now, you can see, I think you saw the radio behind me a couple times. Well, that's about as far as you're going to be able to go, and to the center console. But overall, I am impressed with it, and I hope that they keep improving it. I think that they should get rid of, or have ability to clean up the cloud version. I don't want stuff going to the cloud, and I didn't see anything in settings to prevent that. Network workshop information, which is pretty much blank. They do require two things, but that's there. They have a language, a time zone, sound, which touch sound is I disabled that. You can adjust the brightness. It, and there's the about, which we've already been through, and yeah, you can see there's 12 gigs on here, but Creator Elite Toyota. So I really hope that they get, you know, just that one thing fixed with the USB-C. This overall is a very impressive device for the price, but I can see why you'd be held back by that. If you want to plug in the USB-C, maybe to share some files, and you have to press that reset every single time, it's going to get kind of annoying. So hopefully you can fix that through firmware, and be able to do it. Hopefully too, I like to try out some of their other tools. I know that they have some more powerful ones and that can do more cars, and I think that I really enjoy to be able to test those out, because this one, I also would like to have a little bit more time with it. But since I only have one Toyota, I could be able to do this one with a little bit quicker turnaround. This one here, I'm pretty impressed with, and yeah, you've got my ups and downs about it. Let me know in the comments below if what you'd like to see, if you saw anything that maybe I missed, or anything I want to check. I know my sister has a Toyota 2 that she has out in a different state, and this might be a great option, because she asked my brother and I questions about what does this mean or something else, and I could have her have a tool like this and have her plug it in, tell her what to do, and or my brother could tell her what to do, and at least then we have some information on what may be going wrong, and so we can go from there. But with that, thank you so much for watching Gray Overload and helping this channel grow. Don't forget to watch another one of my videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that, and hitting the bell icon. All that really does help out the channel. And until next time, God bless.